Analysed, and in today's lesson, we're going to look at another logo that is very iconic and also very smartly designed. Unilever. Now, Unilever is a worldwide company, a global company that deals in very diverse portfolio of products. So, if you are used to going for grocery shopping, if you buy yourself a deodorant or maybe some oil, maybe ice cream, chances are that it's a Unilever product. Uh, the logo of Unilever has remained iconic. The logo that you're seeing on the screen right now, it's remained there for a lot of years. And what I love about it is how smartly they have designed it. Now, obviously, when you see all these symbols that form the U of Unilever, they're not just random symbols that a graphic designer has come up with. These are 24 different symbols that signify the various core values of Unilever, and also indicate the type of products they are into, or sometimes even the research that they're into. Now, without further ado, let us take a look at what these different symbols are and what they mean to Unilever. Before beginning this lesson, right, for those of you who may not exactly know Unilever as a brand or may not recognize it at the onset, okay, here's a list of brands that it represents. These are mainly found in India, but I believe you may find some of these in other countries as well. If you have used a Unilever product in your country, you can share the name in the comments below. Right, so you can see products like Axe, Surf Excel, Kisan, Jams, Dove, Pepsodent. All of these brands are Unilever brands, and uh, they're everywhere. They're everywhere basically. Very easy to get, very easy to procure, and not very expensive either. So now that you've got a bit of a refresher on these brands and on Unilever in general, let's begin the analysis. Now, the first symbol that we have here is the sun. Now, the sun, as we all know, is our primary natural resource, right? We're now seeing a lot of research being done into harnessing solar energy for heating, cooking, lighting solutions as well. And Unilever also is looking at ways to creatively utilize sun's energy. Also, uh, the sun evokes Unilever's origins in Port Sunlight. So a lot of significance is there in the sun. So they are also into reducing the whole greenhouse effect, right? The impact of the greenhouse effect. So all of this put together forms the very core and the first symbol of Unilever, that is the sun. Now, second symbol that we have here is the bee, the honeybee. Okay. Now, the honeybee, if you look at the meaning or the symbolism of the bee, it represents creation, it represents pollination, it represents hard work, diversity as well. So, by using the bee in the logo, Unilever is hinting or also indicating the effort that they're taking to combat environmental challenges and also creating different avenues or opportunities in that arena. So big up to Unilever for that. And that's the second symbol, the B. Now the third symbol we have here is DNA. If you have studied science, even at the basic level, you will know that this double helix, that's the DNA, is the genetic blueprint of life. DNA forms all of us, right? And the whole point of putting the DNA here next to the sun is that the sun is the biggest ingredient in life and the DNA is the smallest. So it's very poetic the way the designer has used these two symbols next to each other. Also, the DNA represents the study that Unilever seems to be doing in that aspect. I still have to get some concrete information on what exactly they do in this arena, but The whole point from my study, the whole point of them using the DNA here is to represent uh, bioscience and the efforts they're taking in that direction. All right. So the next one we have is the palm tree. Now, the palm tree is also a natural resource, of course, palm oil, all those things. So, the people who are into makeup and grooming will relate to palm oil. It even has therapeutic value, I believe. Uh, the palm trees also represents other fruits and other elements like coconuts, dates. Also, represents paradise. So, again, Unilever is not just trying to show you that, hey, we are into this business. They are also giving you a very, say, spiritual or a very deeper, very deep insight into their core values and what their company runs on in terms of principles. Right? So that is palm oil. The next one we have is the hand. Okay, so the human hand is actually a symbol of sensitivity, care, need. So all of these emotions are represented first by hand, and by keep positioning the hand next to the flower and the hair, you will see as we move it, a little deeper into this, you will see why they have positioned hand, hair, and flowers next to each other. Okay, so to understand this, let's move on to hair. Okay, now the hair, of course, is symbol of beauty. We all love to style our hair, groom it, grow it, short, cut it short, whatever. Now the hair next to the flower, okay, it gives you a sense of cleanliness, fragrance. Historically, if you see people, especially women, have been garnishing their hair with flowers for the fragrance. They do it even today. So that is why they've placed it next to the flower here and placed next to the hand. Right now, this is probably me overthinking, but usually when you groom your hair, right, it's all soft and bouncy, and you run your hand through your hair, and you like the feel, right? You like how soft it feels, right? So that is what Unilever is going for. So a place next to the hand, it suggests softness. Okay, so that is why we have the hand here, the hair here, and the element that ties both of them together is the little flower right over here. Okay. Now, why the flower? Now, the flower obviously represents fragrance. Fragrance links hair and hands together. So when you wash your hands, right, you expect them to smell good, right? Of course, you want them to clean your hands first. You want clean hands, but you also want them to smell good. You don't want them to smell like something that you may have interacted with. It's not so hygienic, right? So that is why you have the flower next to the hand, and flower next to the hair, as I already mentioned earlier, it gives you a sense of fragrance. So the whole point of the hair, hand, and flower combination is to represent their work in the area of shampoos, conditioners, moisturizers, and creams. All right. Next up, we have the swirl. Now, the swirl. The first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word swirl, especially if you're a foodie, is the soft serve ice creams. But in this case, the swirl represents mixing or stirring. And what do you mix or stir? Ingredients, right? So sauces, spreads, flavors, taste makers, all of these come under the icon swirl. All right. Next one, we have the spoon. Obviously, now, how do you swirl? With a spoon, right? Ladle, spoon, whatever. So the spoon represents nutrition, tasting, cooking. So you use the spoon to cook. You use the spoon to taste, right? To add nutrition. So you want to add some spices to your food. Use that. Use it for stirring. So that's why you have the swirling here. You have the spoon here. And very poetically, after you stir in your ingredients with a spoon, what do you get? You get a bowl of great tasting food. So that's why you have the bowl over here. So the bowl, obviously, as I said, represents a bowl of delicious smelling food. Also represents ready meal, hot drinks, soup. So Unilever does have a range of meals, ready to cook meals, soups. Again, ready to cook soups. Nor is one of their iconic brands in that market. So the bowl represents all these food aspects, and the way the designer has used the process, the tool, and the final outcome here is absolutely genius. Now, next up, we have what they like to call chili pepper. Now, if you see, you have the swirl, you have the spoon, you have the food, but what do you use to make this food? What do you pick up with your spoon? What do you stir? Spices and flavors. So the chili pepper in the Unilever logo actually very boldly represents chilies and fresh ingredients. Right? Next up, we have the fish. Now the fish doesn't necessarily uh, represent seafood. It does, from one angle, it does represent seafood, but it also represents uh, fresh water, the research they're doing to clean the water, or provide potable water, whatever it is, the different studies that are involved in these processes. That's what is represented by the fish. Now, where does the fish stay? It stays in water, and what does water produce? Waves. So the wave here symbolizes cleanliness, freshness, vigor, right? It also represents clean water and purity. So obviously, the whole point of adding the fish and the water side by side is now obvious, and the fact that the fish also is close to the chili pepper, the whole food section of the logo also makes sense. So the designer has not just slapped elements on, he or she has given it a thought. I mean, obviously Unilever has told them, these are the 24 values, you need to make a U out of it. It's not the case of just putting on these symbols to make the U. It's about telling a story. Now, obviously, he started with the sun, the whole formation of life, and then grooming yourself, cooking your food, and then clean water for your daily needs, right? So it's basically telling you a story of Unilever as well, which is why it's one of my personal favorite logos. Next up, after the waves, is packaging. Now, packaging may seem very vague here compared to the other very deep sounding symbols that we have, but packaging is a very important aspect of products today. Half the time you end up buying a product just because the package looks good. Take for example a smartphone, right? The smartphone may have good specifications, not so good specifications, but you don't think about that at the onset. You look at it and say, oh wait, wow, the phone looks good, I want it. And so the packaging aspect nowadays is very important, and Unilever has been doing a lot of work related to the packaging. So if you look at the packaging of any Unilever product, right, it stands out and compels you to buy it and give it a shot. So here we have packaging. Now, right next to packaging, again very poetic, it's clothes. Now, obviously, Unilever has a presence in the clothes market, but in a different way. So they have the laundry products. They have the sort of products that you use to treat your clothes to make them all soft and nice. So that is why they have clothes on here, and obviously clothes packaging makes sense. Moving on, we have the heart, right? Now, why the heart? I mean, no, it's sudden in this logo, but I'll tell you what. The heart is a symbol of love, care, and health, and Unilever, at its very heart, right, pun intended, does care a lot about the health and caring for the customers, caring for their employees. So that's why they have the heart over here. Now, right next to the heart, a very interesting little symbol is what they like to call transformation. Now, the transformation here, it has two elements. It has um, a snowflake and it has a plant. So the plant is a symbol of freshness, and snowflake represents freezing. So obviously, you move on from season to season. A plant may be fresh, and then it freezes, and then it goes back to fresh again. So what they want to show is transformation. So Unilever believes in transforming, in adapting to the changing times. The trends may come and go, but then as a brand that deals with so many products, it's a responsibility to adapt to this change and keep the customers up to date and keep themselves up to date as well. So that's why transformation. Right about transformation, we have these dots, right? So these dots are nothing but particles. Now these particles are a reference to a lot of things. One is their study in the area of science. It also represents bubbles that are produced by all their soaps and conditioners and cleaners, whatever, and also fizz. So there are many fizzy drinks that come out. Uh, these particles represent the fizz. Next up, right next to the transformation. So in the transformation, we had the plant and the snowflake. So plant and frozen plant, I would like to call it. Right, but just next to it, we have this literal plant-like symbol here. Right? And this is nothing but tea. So a plant or an extract of a plant, that's what they want to represent here. So Unilever also makes obviously teas. I believe they make some coffee as well, but I think the main forte here is tea. So the blends of tea that they make. So this represents tea. It's also plant is also a symbol of growing, farming, and how Unilever likes to support these initiatives. Now, about the plant, the tea or the plant, whatever you like to call it, is ice cream. Ice cream represents a treat. It represents pleasure. It also represents enjoyment. Right? Now, while these are values, of course, ice cream is also one of Unilever's biggest markets. Brands like Quality Walls, the Magnum ice creams that come, they're all Unilever products. And the fact that it sells so well, also keeps ice cream somewhere on the top of the U, I guess. I mean, that's just my assumption. But yeah, ice cream, the various ice cream brands, and the values of treat, pleasure, and enjoyment. Next, we have lips. Lips, just like hair and hands, represents beauty, looking good, and of course, taste. You taste food with your mouth, right? Lips come in contact with the food, so taste. Now these the lips symbol here also represents the grooming products that Unilever makes to treat your lips, lip I guess lip glosses, gels, whatever. Next up, we have this sort of recycle symbol here. They call it virtuous cycle, but we can call it recycle. Recycle is simple. It's their commitment to sustainability, recycling their products to create so to avoid wastage. Basically, that's what they want to do here. Now the last two, we have the dove. Okay, dove, the bird, whatever. It's a symbol of freedom. It suggests a relief from daily chores and also getting more out of life. It's also, I guess, a subtle sign to the Dove brand that is under the Unilever banner. And finally, We're going to end this with a bang, and the last symbol we have is spark. All right, so spark or sparkle represents clean, healthy, and sparkling with energy. So, what Unilever wants to say is that the whole process, the study, the creation of products, the packaging, the whole brand is something that evokes a sense of energy, and it's also a representative of the style of work that they do at Unilever. Okay. So all of these put together form a U, which obviously stands for Unilever, and that's it for this analysis. We have 24 symbols, each with a unique core identity, forming one of the most iconic logos of one of the most iconic companies of all time. If you like this analysis and if you want to see more, do let me know in the comments below, and also like the video and subscribe to the channel for more design content. Until the next lesson, this is Sketched signing off.